I think that we run the risk, even on a day like today, of overly lawyering and legalizing what the Supreme Court has done. Let's be clear. The Supreme Court, as you know, you've heard, they knew exactly what they were doing, not just for the past, but for the future. Donald Trump is campaigning on a platform of being a dictator for a day and of seeking vengeance against his enemy. And, you know, to do that, he needs the support of a lot of people who are going to go along with him. Well, what have those people who have gone along with him learned in the last couple of weeks? Number one, that the U.S. Supreme Court was going to narrowly construe a statute that went after January 6th insurrectionists. Number two, the Supreme Court was going to let Donald Trump remain on the ballot. Number three, that the Supreme Court was going to give him basically absolute immunity, not just for what he did last time, but what he may do in the future. And that his pardon power is absolute. So let's be clear. It's not just that the Supreme Court knew what it was doing with respect to the criminal cases that have been indicted. The Supreme Court knows what it's doing with respect to empowering his attitudes and his impulses and those of his followers as we are 4 months from the next election, 4.5 months from the next set of lawsuits, 5 months from the next insurrection at the Capitol, and then potentially 4 years of him seeking vengeance and misusing power to go after his political opponents and to prosecute his case against the American people. It is a shameful day for democracy. The court has disgraced itself. And I'll tell you, every one of us needs to be steeled for a battle to stand up for the rule of law going forward. You know, one of the things that has always struck me as odd in this town is that people look at a bunch of justices and they say, well, you know, they all went to Harvard and Yale Law School and they all went to the best colleges and they send their kids to the same schools that our kids go to. And, you know, they enjoy a glass of wine with a coup d'etat at a reception at the Supreme Court and they wear robes and they speak in very flowery language. They're just like us. No, they actually believe that Donald Trump is the future of America. They believe that the flag should be flown upside down, indicating distress when Joe Biden wins. They believe that Donald Trump, as a strong man, should have immunity. And it's time that, you know, people who are in the center left, the center right, stop looking at justices and thinking, well, they must share our value system. They don't share our value system. They share his value system.